everyone. Thank you for listening to my podcast and watching my YouTube videos. Your response has been amazing, and I'm trying my level best to bring businesses all over the world and the business owners, the entrepreneurs to help you, guide you, to give you more information about their experience and what they have done. Today, I have another beautiful soul from Australia, and we will know where she is right now in Australia. And her name is drum rolls. Kamila Wolyniec, and she is from New Flame Coaching. And let's talk to her and see what she does, how she does, everything about her life. Hi, Kamila, how are you?
Hi, Harshmeen. I'm great, thank you. Thank you so much for having me here today. I appreciate it. I'm really excited too.
Yeah, same here because I was really impressed the way. So we met through a online meeting which was happening in Australia, and I was in New Zealand. So we chatted, and this woman was attending a meeting while being in the the hair salon. This kind of dedication you hardly see. So I don't know what you can get from her, but let's see, talk to her and see what she does. So, hi, Camilla. Can you tell us something about Camilla as a person?
Camilla as a person. Camilla as a person is a very, I would say, kind and curious person. Someone who does enjoy the company of others and does tend to feel. It feels weird talking about myself in a third person. Enjoys making other people feel comfortable and feel included. I'm always really drawn to people, and something that I guess kind of has been a thread as well through my career in terms of my career choices or my educational choices. So I've studied psychology. I have studied HR as well as a master's, and then chosen a HR career further down the line, and that led me to coaching. So I guess it's always been very centered around people and
Mhm.
relationships and supporting others and understanding human behavior a little bit more. So I know that I've ventured into a little bit of work stuff, but that's kind of been a thread. And I guess on a personal note, one of the things that I really enjoy in my spare time is photography
Mhm.
and just spending time out in nature or around people. Actually, I do enjoy people photography, the candid type, the most, because I really love capturing those moments, between people as well, when they're sort of laughing together or talking, and I'm just lurking somewhere in the background and just capturing those moments and keeping them there forever. I find it really rewarding and beautiful.
Amazing. And where are you today in Australia? Is it
Sydney. I'm in Sydney.
Sydney? Yes, the main city of Australia.
I know. It's not true what they say about the weather, by the way.
No, no, I have been to Australia. The weather is always good, and people are all busy doing something or the other.
Yeah. Well, we've had a lot of rain this summer, so it's I think it's changing a little bit, the climate.
Oh, but it's good because farmers love rain.
They do. There's always a plus.
Yes, it is. So, how? So, tell us about your experience in terms of leading you towards your business. When did you start your business, though?
It's I would say it's still in its infancy, so it's a relatively young business. I can't even pinpoint the exact point when it actually started. So I it was a bit of a journey for me. I
Mm-hmm.
did not expect myself to be where I am today as quickly as I got here. So my career and my background has been in HR, and I have worked, in a number of industries across small companies, massive global corporations, and so I've had really great taste of sort of what challenges I guess organizations face and leaders in the organizations as well. And in particular, I was really always really drawn to initiatives in a sort of diversity and inclusion space. So my last role, I have worked on a few really interesting initiatives in gender diversity space specifically, and I found that I'm really drawn to that, and I'm really passionate about supporting women and helping them really just lift them up and reach their full potential, because I do believe, in particular in those male dominated industries, women have a very distinct set of challenges. So it can be a little bit more challenging to really climb to the top, or to have the career that you want to have, because there's just so many hurdles, and there's biases that still exist, and there's still all those internal challenges we face as well as women in general. So that's sort of something I started noticing in my HR role. And at the same time, I wanted to add a few strings to my bow in my HR role, and I've started coaching training. It was just the intention behind it was really just to add to my skill set in my current role. What I didn't expect is that's just been this amazing personal journey as well. A lot of,
Mm-hmm.
you know, really deeply transformational personal growth journey for me, having to address all of the different things I never really thought about, and also open my eyes to possibilities. So I very quickly built a network around myself. I invested into coaches, I invested into business coaches and support and mentors, because I really wanted to see whether that's something I could actually pursue as a career as opposed to just a skill. And that's how I started. And after, I think, a few months in, it's really hard for me to pinpoint it, but it's been about a year roughly since
Yeah.
my business was born. In the beginning, it was a bit of a doubling situation. I was still working and trying to set up the business on the side. And in December last year, I've decided to just take the leap and go all in and just give it my all and see what happens. So that's where I am now.
Wow, that's good. But I must say, where do you get this dedication? Like, attending the meeting while you're in hair salon. I was really, really, really intrigued, impressed by you. So I just wanted to know where this dedication and motivation comes from.
Thank you. Um, I think I just had a bit of a shift in mindset, and that's also partially owed to my personal growth journey through my coaching. I used to be always very well, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I do worry about my image, about my reputation, and everything else, and in particular in those kind of formal settings, even though that I'll get there in a moment. So in those sort of networking settings, I always felt like I needed to impress, like I needed to show up perfect, looking polished, and have something really interesting to say, and give out my business card and hope that people call me and all that kind of stuff. But through my coaching journey, through making connections in the community and joining the business group that we're both part of, I've realized it's so much more. It's just about connections. It's not about impressing anyone. It's not about getting something out of it, but it's about connecting with another human and seeing whether there is a commonality there, whether there's something you can support each other with, and just build a support network around yourself. So that's how I started seeing networking rather than, and I just took away all this stress and anxiety that I used to have around it. I used to get very nervous going to networking meetings. Now I get excited because I'm excited to see who I'm going to meet and who I can connect with. So I saw that meeting as an opportunity as well, because I've joined the group and I haven't been able to join any of the previous meetups.
Mhm.
And I realized it was clashing with my hair appointment, and I thought to myself, I don't want to miss it again. Why don't I just show up and see what happens? And for whatever reason, the people that organize it made me feel quite at ease through our previous interactions. So I felt like it was a safe space for me to show up that way with a group of other women that are there to do the same thing, to connect with other women. So it didn't feel inappropriate. I don't know if it was, but to me, it felt quite liberating. I've never done anything like this before. So
I would say that was a dedication. Like no matter what happens, where I am, I'm here for my work, no matter what. I was really impressed. So that's why I was like, I have to ask you, where did you get this motivation from?
There's a drive. There's definitely a drive. I think when you run your own business and you care about what you do, you're willing to do a lot more for it. You're willing to do whatever it takes
Yes,
to happen.
it's so true. I've told so many business owners, but they don't understand when the people say, "Oh, I don't want to come online on reels." People today are not doing the reels a lot, but if
Mm,
you do reels, it's like free marketing for you. You don't really have to pay anything. You just
yeah.
have to come on the video and done.
Mm,
That's way
yeah. The reels.
the reels. I make reels, two reels every day.
Amazing. That's
Yeah. So let's talk about further. When you started your business journey, did you ever thought, no, I couldn't make it. I should go back to to my job. And but then what did you do to actually keep on going still?
mm. I I sure had my moments because it is a challenging journey. Running your own business and trying to get it off the ground is probably one of the hardest things you'll ever do. No one really tells you all the challenges that come with it. You just think, well, I just need to master my craft and then sell it to people. But you then have to learn all of these different skills that you never necessarily had to learn before, like marketing. I had to build my own website. Of course, I could pay someone, but it's just those things that we start learning and getting awareness around, and also the personal challenges come up, right? So you start realizing all the things you have fears around, all the things that are limiting you, all your thinking patterns that are getting in your way. Um, so yes, I have had my moments when I felt like, am I even cut out for this? Is this, who am I kidding? Is this right for me? What do I know? I have no experience. I have no sales experience. I have no marketing experience. I thought it was just about coaching, but it's not. Running a business is like you wear so many different hats. So it gets very, very challenging. But I'm very fortunate to have a very strong support network around me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was intentional, like I'm building it on purpose, and I'm part of a mastermind as well, which is a group of about 50 amazing female coaches, and they're all on different journeys, they're all on different stages in their journey. But one thing we have in common, that we're all very open and vulnerable, and we talk about our challenges. No one's there to pretend that everything's going perfectly well when it's not. So we really dare to support each other, and when those hard moments come, I can always rely on the group to give me a pep talk, or listen to me, and help me put it all together, and break through whatever barriers I'm coming across. So I haven't given up yet, and I'm not planning on giving up anytime soon. It is challenging, but it's also very rewarding, and sometimes I have to pinch myself to think that I'm here and I'm doing this.
That's so true. So, what now you are in this journey? Uh, what type of coaching are you providing? Is it mindset or is it business? What type of coaching are we talking about here?
Yeah, so I call myself a career confidence and success coach. Um, and what that entails is, and I do work mostly with women, although not exclusively. I just have that passion for supporting women, and I guess I'm just drawn to that because I can relate to the experience, and understand where some of those I've experienced some of the things that I don't think males necessarily experience. I could be wrong. So I am doubling and starting to work with some male clients as well, just to get a bit of an understanding. But what I do help my clients with is so it's career based. So they're often corporate women, high achievers, very often in male dominated industries, because, like I said, it does have a number of challenges that are slightly unique to maybe more female dominated industries, and helping them to break through some of their glass ceilings and also get out of their own way. So there are very often, particularly in women, when they get to a certain point in their career, the behaviors that got them to that point might not necessarily work for them anymore further down the line as they climb the ladder or as they have more impact. So to starting to really banish some of those behaviors that are not helping them.
Mhm.
So things that I'm talking about could be things like perfectionism, that might be preventing you from actually taking action. It might be preventing you from building relationships that are genuine and connected because you're trying to always be seen as perfect and be have this image. I think I'm digressing a little bit, but generally it's about the behaviors, it's about the career success, having the impact that you want to have. So a big part of my work is building self-awareness
Mhm.
around yourself, what it is that you care about, what it is that you want to experience in your career, what are your values, what are your strengths, what are some of the development areas, and just really trying to capitalize on what you have to offer so that you
Mhm.
can not just survive but thrive in your career. So you can really make the most of your opportunities. You can preserve your energy as well, because a lot of the patterns that I see with my clients are things like people pleasing, lack of boundaries, not being able to manage their energy very well because they say yes to everything. They don't want to miss out, for example. So, trying to manage that as well and bring more energy into their life, more space, more time to really focus on what matters to them. Does that
That's
answer the
good.
question?
Mhm. Yes, that does answer my question. So, do you run group programs or do you do one-to-one coaching?
I do both. So
Okay.
I do have a group coaching program which has been put on pause and I will be relaunching very, very shortly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just redesigning it and it's pretty much there, but I want to make sure I'm very intentional with what the outcomes are going to be with that. So currently I'm doing one-on-one mostly, but very soon I will be launching a group coaching program and there will be a lot of um, I'll be announcing that and I'll be sharing some offers to incentivize people to join me.
Oh, that's amazing. So, how this journey has been so far with you and your business?
Um, I think we covered that a little bit. So it's been a bit up and down. It's in some spaces mostly up, in
Mm-hmm.
that I really get to stretch myself so much on this
That's
journey.
good.
I get to learn so much. I connect with some amazing people. I get to transform people's lives. I get to help them see the power that they have within themselves, and step into a more confident version of themselves. It's just very, very rewarding. So I love what I do and I'm more and more passionate about it every day because I learn more about it and I speak to more people and I see more and more how much it's needed. So I know I'm on the right path. And that might change as I kind of go through this journey. Maybe my direction will change, but for now I'm really committed to that. I have this mission of really changing the reality for women in the workplace. Bit of a movement that I'd love to create. So I've got some big mission, big vision, and goals. But it does get challenging sometimes because you are your own boss, and you have to, like, we're only human, and sometimes we have to deal with things like lack of motivation, lack of energy, feeling doubting yourself, and all the fears coming up. So it does get challenging, but I always get the support that I need.
Hmm. Interesting. And what about, do you work from home?
Yes, I do.
So, so how do you manage the work-life balance? Like for the working from home, it's quite distracting as well. But yeah, would
Yeah,
love to know your thoughts on that.
yeah. Thank you for asking. I think your environment plays a big role. I
Mm-hmm.
do believe that. So I have recently, well, about 4 months ago, have moved house. Prior to where I am now, I used to not have a space to myself to be able to work, to do my coaching sessions, or to deliver workshops and things like that. It was very challenging, fighting for space all the time. So that was difficult. And then we've moved to a place that's a little bit bigger, and I have my own office, which I've, decorated myself, and I've made it into my my little haven that I really love
Mhm.
being in. And I think that makes a really big difference because when I need it, I can just shut the door and create that bubble for myself so I don't get distracted. Having said that, I don't have kids, so it does make it a little bit easier. But I do
Yes,
have a
it
dog
does.
who is pretty much like a kid, very demanding, very playful. So it does get distracting sometimes, I have to say.
Yeah.
But there's the flip side of not having to interact with people like you do in the office when you just chat and go to the water cooler, you go to the kitchen to make a cup of tea, and you bump into someone before you know it, half an hour later, you're still chatting to them. So I don't
Mhm.
get those type of distractions. So I guess there's a balance with that.
That's so true. So tell us more about your business. So how people can come to you and how they can contact you.
Yeah, sure. So I do have a website, and I'll share the details with you, which you can share with the audience as well. I do operate mostly on LinkedIn, which is a
Mm-hmm.
fairly new platform for me to really embrace. I used to have a lot of limiting beliefs around LinkedIn, and I think I started using it properly maybe in January, February this year, so very recently, and now I love it. So that's where you can find me. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook, but I'm not as active on there as I am on LinkedIn. I just really prefer that platform in terms of what you can achieve and the conversations you can have through it. So these are the two main
Hmm.
places. I can also drop a link or share with you a link if anyone would like to book a short chat with me to see how I can support them. I can share the link with as well to that.
Oh, that would be amazing. And while doing this business, what advice do you have for all the women who are like they get into a position where they are like, okay, I'm here now, where to go from there? Because they get and they're in the mid 40s or something, and they're like, crisis comes in. What advice do you have for those kind of women?
So when you say crisis, do you mean in terms of knowing where to go next?
Yeah, they have achieved everything, they're on the top of their game, and then they're like, what to do now? They
Mm,
don't have any challenge available.
yeah. Well, there's always a challenge if you're willing to look for it. And it depends what type of challenge you enjoy. So I think one of the top pieces of advice I would have is to get to know yourself a little bit better. So really spend the time to build your self awareness around what it is that you value, what are your values, what is it that you want to be experiencing. So and just do a bit of an audit of your life where because career is one aspect, but it fits within, our entire life, and there's so many different aspects of it. And unless everything's working together, we won't be happy. Our career could be going amazingly, but if our personal life is suffering, if our relationships are suffering, if our health is suffering, then we're not going to feel fulfilled. So it's really finding the balance between different areas and just taking a step back and asking yourself, what is the kind of life that I want to be living? What is the lifestyle that I want? What do I want to be experiencing? What are sort of the conversations that I want to be having in my day to day? And starting to do a bit more, just understand yourself better, what it is that you're aiming for, regardless of where you are now, because very often we get constrained with a current situation. I think that that's all that's possible for us. But if you allow yourself to really imagine and dream a little bit bigger, then it just opens the door for you to actually make it happen for yourself. But you need to visualize it first. You need to understand it, what it is that you care about and what you want to be experiencing. And then just doing a little bit of a check with yourself. What do I have currently that can support me moving towards that? What skills do I have that could use? What else do I need to bring myself closer to it? What relationships do I have to leverage maybe to explore that option for myself? So really just taking the time to get to know yourself, get to know your options, and just go for it because life is way too short
For sure.
to sit there and ponder and wonder what if.
Yeah, that's so true. And um, What was your last job that you left and you feel, yes, I did made the right decision? Can you put a light on that?
So my, I don't know if I should be sharing my
No,
first.
not, you don't have to tell us the company, just the job that you were doing. That's it.
Okay, yeah, sure. So I was working as a HR partner um, for a big corporation, and I did love my job. I really enjoyed it. So I was there for 2 years, I believe. And to be honest, when I first joined, I saw it as this is it. That's my place. This is where my career is going to take off, and where I want to stay and just build myself up. But I think COVID played a role, and I think it played a role for many people to just really stop and think, what is it that I want from life, and how can I
Mhm.
have more impact? And whilst I really enjoyed my job and I loved my team and I loved the people I worked with, and it was challenging, and there was so much opportunity to grow and to learn and to get involved in really exciting projects. Um, the amount of impact I could have was limited because of the size of the organization. The decisions were not made by me. I had quite limited impact, and it whilst I was able to make the impact on an individual level or on a small scale in a day-to-day job, it didn't always feel as meaningful as I would have liked it to be, which is why I started dabbling into the idea of what else can I do? And coaching came up for me as just sort of a bit of a thought, just popped up in my head as something I can. Initially, I didn't dare to think that I could do this as a business. I just thought it'll help me with my current role and maybe give me a little bit more meaning as well, because then I can really use that skill. So that's kind of what's driven me, and it wasn't really anything that I didn't enjoy it and like or I want to leave behind. It was a difficult decision, I have to say, but I was just drawn to it, and I had my partner's support, which was a huge factor in making that decision. I think he believed in me maybe a little bit more than I believed in myself, and that
So
really
true.
helped with making that decision and taking that leap, even though I had no idea how I'm going to do it and whether or not it's going to be successful. So I do feel it was the right decision in the sense of just giving myself an opportunity to see what I'm made of and to see what I can achieve, and at least trying to fulfill my potential. Whether or not
That's
I'll
so,
succeed, I don't know, but
yeah, that's so good. And you're right, COVID has actually helped a lot of people to sit back and think what they exactly want to do. So many businesses, so many people have changed their jobs or something or the other to bring a new change in their life. So yes,
yeah,
COVID has played a good role as well.
yeah, for
Um,
sure, for sure. Thank you.
yeah. In the end, I would like to ask you five advice that you will give to your audience, to the people listening to you or watching you, that you also it is really important for you as well.
Five. Oof. Okay. So I'd say number one, be yourself. Just one of the biggest challenges I've had in my career is just trying to be something I wasn't and feeling like an imposter, trying to be seen a certain way, thinking that if I learn more, if I get more certifications, then I'm going to be more successful and more respected. But that self confidence never came with that because it's an internal job. So just be yourself, don't overthink it, and allow yourself to express yourself more fully and more authentically, because it's just so rewarding when you do, and actually helps you build connections with people so much better because they see you as human and maybe a little bit imperfect, and it gives them permission to be the same, which is amazing. Um, don't overthink it. So, perfectionism is one thing that I'm trying to battle within myself and within my clients, and it's something that can be very difficult to get rid of if you're used to operating in that way and wanting everything to be perfect and every button done up. So done is better than perfect, and that's my mantra now that I've just printed and put in front of myself. Just give it a go, try it out. If it doesn't work, you try again, but you're learning from it, and you can only get better by doing it. So that's another thing. Don't overthink it, just give it a go and allow yourself to fail. um, One other thing, which is on a similar thread as well, is that I think that there is no such thing as failure. It's just feedback. So anything that we do, and even if we do it wrong according to whomever, even if we make a mistake, it's not a failure, because if we're trying, if we're moving towards something that we want to achieve, then we are successful. And whatever the outcome was, it's just feedback on how not to do it, so you can do it differently next time. So
Hmm.
that's been a really big part of my learning and growth journey as well through this, is to just accept that I'll make mistake. I'll suck a little bit at the beginning at all the things that I'm doing, but I'm showing up anyway, and I know that I'm learning, I'm improving, and that's the most important thing. Um, Number 4 is follow your heart. Don't allow other people to dictate what your dreams should be, what your goals should be, what you should be focusing on, what path you should take, what's acceptable, what's appropriate. Just listen to what it is that you want, what your heart wants, because I'm finding with my clients and just generally with observing people that we constrain ourselves so much through our life and follow other people's path just to get to a certain point in our life, in our 40s, 50s, 60s, and then go back to what we wanted in the first place, because that's when we finally get the courage to say, I'm going to follow what I want rather than what other people have designed for me. So allow yourself to go there a little bit earlier. um, and the final one, hmm,
I would say believe in yourself.
definitely, definitely believe in yourself. We are so much more capable than we give ourselves credit for, and I think that the sorry, partly it's due to us comparing ourselves to other people, when no two people are the same. No two people will have the same experiences as you, will never have the same thoughts of you, same beliefs, same opportunities and skills and strengths. So you should never compare yourself to the other person, because no two people have the same baseline, and your journey is your own. So believe in that and follow it.
So true. And can I have a big giveaway for my viewers as well, please?
Hmm. Um, so depending on when this is going to be shared, I'd love to share with you a surprise workbook that I will share with you depending on what is happening in the business at the time. Something that will be valuable for the listeners and the viewers in terms of
Perfect.
either setting direction, setting their goals. So I'll come up with something and I'll share that with you very shortly.
Oh, that would be amazing. Thank you so much for your time today. And whatever you have talked about, I must say, you're right. There are so many people I have been through. They are stuck in a place and they don't know what to do after that. So I think you would be really good help for them. And I love the name as well, New Flame, which is like new way of living your life.
Yes,
It's
yes,
amazing.
absolutely. That's actually, yeah, it's about the sort of finding that spark within yourself again, finding that, that passion for life, for your career, for your direction. Yeah, just relighting that fire within yourself.
Yes. So thank you again for your time, and thank you for my listeners to listening, and the YouTube people watching the video. Please like, subscribe the channel, and give us a feedback and put your questions down. We have left all the information in the bio about Kamila so that you can talk to her and see if you are facing any issues like that. Well, because she can help. And when I say she can, that means it can.
Thank you,
Because
Harshmeen.
you can't find passionate people like her while doing being in the hair salon and still attending the meetings. It's a passion, and it's putting yourself vulnerable as well at that situation, thinking a lot. She didn't fear about it, like what people will think. She just did it. So these kind of people, you find it very, like, they're very few. So I really appreciate Camilla for your time today.
Thank you, Harshmeen.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having me. I appreciate it so much.
Same here. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful evening, and yeah, and I hope,
Thank
and
you.
I hope, as borders are open between New Zealand and Australia, I might see you soon, sometime.
Yeah, tomorrow maybe at the
Oh,
meet.
not tomorrow. Oh yeah, tomorrow on the meeting, but traveling to Sydney as a person.
Oh, amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, in
I'd love to
person.
see you. Thank you so much. Thank
No
you.
worries. See you. Bye.